Welcome back to the Cunningham Custom Engines YouTube channel. I'm Travis Cunningham. This is episode 3, Do It For Dale. In this episode, Trevor cleans up the new to us one-way cylinder heads in the Varsol bin, does a great job. We also introduce him to the channel. Trevor Evans, former go-kart champion, gonna run again this year maybe in the senior division. I'm pretty pumped about that. So I used to have way too much fun battling in go-karts with him when he was a kid. I always said I wouldn't be one of those go-kart helpers that gets mad when the kids are racing, but there I was doing it. So we introduce him, we introduce Billy. Billy Evans, his papa. Billy's been with me my whole career. My dad's best friend. Not much more to say about Billy other than without the Evans family, my racing career wouldn't have happened. So glad to have them along with my journey. We clean up the one-way cylinder heads. We polish the valves. I show you a little bit about valve springs. And then I show you the cracked block that I thought was making a problem at the end of the year why the motor wasn't running right. But I'll tell you the story. That wasn't it. So like, subscribe. The second video was killing it. We're almost at 500 views. I'm happy. I looked at all the other YouTubers and that's kind of how they were starting out, the sprint car style guys. So thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And if you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do. And see you next time. My boy Trevor watching the new heads up.
Yep.
Former go-kart star turned Varsol boy. Glad to have him on the team.
And disassembly.
Yep.
Disassembler, yeah. Hopefully be the
There's his famous
assembler.
Papa Billy. Show you the finished product when he's done. If you ever wanted to drive a race car, have you ever tried working on a guy's car for free? That's what I would suggest all you young wannabe racers out there. And here we go. My boy Trev cleaned them all up. Sexy. Just going to show you polishing the valves. This is the before. And after. If you buy a used engine or a used set of heads, you get the valves out, that's what you look for right there if you want to reuse them. Thick margin. If it's skinny, throw them out. If it's fat, send them back in. Intake's all done. Exhaust take a little bit more persuading, but we'll still get them pretty close. Here's the exhaust. Till it's used, but still pretty nice. There's another nice thick margin. We're going to put these babies back in. All done. Hit them with 180 grit first, then 600, and then Scotch-Brite. Those blown up ones are sad, but we'll buy a couple new ones. Next step, valve grinder. And then little valve spring tip. Me personally, I'm going to replace these springs, even if they are pretty new, just because I don't like dampers. They're just tiny little spring steel. And the only time I've ever broken a valve spring, they had dampers in it. So I use a dual style. I like this. And then just to show you a little more valve spring technology, these are the new. Never used them before, but they are Joe Hornick springs, and he gets them made by PSI to his specs. And as you can see, the OD of them is way smaller, way lighter. This one here's got a 1.550 outside diameter, and these ones are 1.3. And then, so that makes them way lighter. These kicks the whole valve assembly lighter. And then these ones, they got way less pressure when they're just sitting on the seat. When they're open, they got the same as these big ones. They're about 700 pounds open. But just sitting on the seat, these ones are like 180, and these ones are like 235 sitting on the seat. So that's 50 pounds roughly extra you got to push on the valve to get these open. So 410s and 360s have gained a ton of horsepower in the last 5 to 10 years. And you'd think it's cylinder heads and all that, but if you talk to the engine builders, a lot of it's just anti-friction, and this is one way to do it. It takes less to open the valve. I've never used them yet, so I'm excited to get to use them. And so, yeah, friction loss like just takes way less to open that valve and get it rolling with the 180 on the seat. This is like when Winston Cups were turning 10,000 back in the day with SB2s. The best V8 engine sound I've ever heard in my life, if you ask me. This is what they were using. It's finally trickled. This technology's finally trickled down into the short tracks. Yeah, this is NASCAR technology back then. 10,000 RPM stuff. Real nice. The other reason is the ring technology. I'll do a better video on that, but like back when my dad was building engines in the late 90s, the rings were like a 1/16 thick. That's like 62 thousandths of an inch. And they're down to 1 millimeter, which is well over half the thickness. So friction is the biggest deal of why these engines make way more power these days. And there it is. Tiny little crack from the bolt hole of the cylinder, number 5. It was just leaking the tiniest little bit into the motor, not that much. Honestly, I think I could have kept it together. It's a stock 010 block, don't see many of those these days. But this block is about 30 pounds lighter than a Dart lightened little M. An SHP Dart is a bit lighter, but this one still is about 15 pounds lighter than that. I wouldn't trust most people that picked out an 010 block, but if my dad, Gary Cunningham, picked it out, he used to turn his drag engine 12,000 RPM in 1979. So if he says these blocks are hard enough to withstand that, it can withstand a sprint car at 680 horsepower, was roughly what this one made. And yeah, I still think it, like, I know it would have ran. We had a problem at the end of the year. That's why I ended up taking it apart, because we thought the crack was making the engine bog out, but was wrong. We bought that new engine, we put it in, changed everything, pumps, everything, literally everything but the switch, and it still did the same thing. So it was clear that the switch was the problem. Got a new motor out of the deal. We'll take that. But yeah, that tiny little crack. Game over. And then I did know about it. I kept running it, because back when I first started racing sprint cars, I drove for the McNeven family, and they had a Ford engine. And that thing had a bunch of cracks in it by the end of the year. It would literally like empty half the rad into the motor. Well, I was out there racing, and the temperature gauge would be pegged, but it would just keep going and never blew up till the end of never blew up at all. Got it apart at the end of the year and threw the block away. I was in an intense Rookie of the Year battle that year at Oshweekon in the 360s with Kevin Lovey. So I remember one night there was a red, and the guy in the infield came up, "Hey, your motor's steaming and emptying all over the racetrack." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to keep going." Intense Rookie of the Year battle with Kevin Lovey's. Another cracked block story. That one kept going. Like, honestly, I'm tempted to put it back together, but Billy's got another 010 block with caps on it, so that's why we're getting the mill ready. And we're going to get that one ready to replace this one. And one last thing. I heard the Southern Ontario Sprintants is offering 50 extra bucks for the first car across the line that tows with an open trailer. Basically the Baily Heard award, but I don't know. Might have to crack this baby out a couple times and try to take his 50 bucks. Which is going to be hard to do at Maryville, because he rocks there. Built this from scratch in the dirt modified days. It is a pretty awesome dirt modified trailer. I'm not going to lie. When the modified's sitting on there, it balances perfectly, and you can grab it by the tire rack and move it all over the driveway. You could literally make this sharp 90-degree corner with a modified on it. So perfectly engineered by me and the old man back in the day. This is where I learned to weld. Might have to crack it out. Coming for your 50 bucks, Bailey. I'm a coming. Thanks for watching. Everyone like and subscribe. Merry Christmas. Hope everybody gets all the racing stuff they got on their Christmas list, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.